going to see one of his hotels, but we've been reading about him in the paper all the time in connection with the
They're very jazzy, brightly lighted, and kind of Hollywood looking.
Now, whether the neighborhood will rise up and raise a little hell or not, they may. They could.
Now it's a disaster area, but it's going to be beautiful when they're finished with it.
Yeah?
Like, you know, there's a couple of tenants still living in there that refuse to move.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know his name or anything?
Nah.
Why do people want to live here during the construction? Why?
Because they have squatters' rights now.
Yeah?
So when this thing is built, and it's beautiful and it's nice, the apartment that they live in is still going to look like it did in 1908 whenever they built this joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they're like here, regardless.
We offered them actually accommodations at other hotels and other apartments, but some people would have just rather stayed here, so we said fine. It's actually their choice. But they had leases and they were entitled to stay.
The ones with courage stayed.
On the day I was born. The song is called Everything I Want Is in Manhattan, and I wrote it because that's how I feel about Manhattan. Everything anybody wants is in Manhattan.
On the day I was born, the sky was bright and clear. I saw New York and told the stork, hey, you can drop me here.
He is not only an essential New Yorker, he's a quintessential New Yorker. Born in Brooklyn, went to school here. He's done everything in Manhattan. And here we are in this very chic endroit of Manhattan, becoming chicer by the minute. And he's staying put and being this life musical force from the 6th floor emanating out of here.
I'd leave this town of mine. The only cruise I'd ever choose is on the Circle 9. 'Cause everything I want is in Manhattan. Everything I want to see and do. Everything I want is in Manhattan. Especially you. Especially you.
Yeah, it's empty. Just abandoned. Okay, let's go back to my place. Come on. You want to go through some of this stuff? Yeah. This is me.
This was after I had brain cancer. My hair was growing back in, wearing glasses.
You just had a rehab?
He must have been, because his hair is short. He looks like he's got some weight on him.
Oh, my goodness. Pictures of my mother.
She passed away from cancer in August '96. 7.5 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, that's very scary. I cried and I cried. I remember my brother, we'd hold each other, we slept together at night. My father was sort of separate from us from the way in which he mourned. You know, it was different than two young children, two brothers, so we had each other. I remember times when we had gotten violent because my father was dating, so we broke things of his. I remember we took a baseball bat to his door. Maybe he had a woman in there or something. And we broke the door, me and my brother.
My brother overdosed from speedballing on heroin and cocaine in the presence of my uncle.
My brother was the closest person to me ever because we lost our mother together. We started using together. We did everything together. I have his picture in my wallet here.
Can you hold it up?
Mm-hmm. He looks more like me. I don't know if I should be smiling with these pictures. That's kind of fucked up, right?
Originally I was in the business with a partner, and he would deal with the people, and I would deal with the projects. He died.
Your partner who passed away, were you close?
Very.
So when that happens, is it hard to kind of move to the next thing?
Well, it's a paradigm. Not only is it a paradigm shift, my life changed from one day to the next. When my father died, life changes from one day to the next. Different life. This was even more so because I would speak to Steve every day, and so all of a sudden, who I was and what I did had to change. I don't mind going through those things. I think they're sort of invigorating. Not the death part, obviously, but the change doesn't scare me, and I think it's invigorating, and also gives you an opportunity to maybe go down a different road.
My life is like this hotel, you know, like torn apart. Man, this is weird.
People are gonna move in this room, they're not gonna know anything that happened in this room. You know?
My brother died in this room.
All right, you better let that thumb stay there. The union says he's got to have a thumb and a bow. No! It's in his contract. It's in his contract.
You know, when you come back 5 months from now, it's not gonna be the same hotel.
I know. Sold. My family's dead. I'm not at home anywhere. All right, let's load it up. Thanks. Come on, come on.
So what's around you and outside?
Just empty rooms where the walls have come down, the plumbing has been ripped out. It's very surreal, but I like it.
He holds on so fiercely to his place there. It is hard to imagine him living somewhere else, but I would almost want to ask him why. I mean, what is it?
Excuse me, can you work the elevator?
Could you take the stairs, buddy?
Now, it's a maze. I always think of, you know, Wizard of Oz, follow the yellow brick road. We have to follow a blue line in the basement, and the blue line is getting paler and paler. So I hope that somebody repaints the blue line. When we come home every night, we come in and there could be a new entrance, there could be a different elevator, there could be something new going up. So every day we're waiting for a new surprise.
What should I do? What should we do?
Go around the front, sir.
Well, there was some problem.
Sorry, you know the routine, sir, right?
I honestly don't. Could you ask someone to come down with me?
If I had known, I would have moved out. I would have arranged for something somewhere. I wasn't prepared for the whole thing.
The people on the Schrager team are paid, so that the jackhammering is part of their job. The people who are homebound, and there's quite a few of them who don't work or are too elderly, have been living in a construction site. So we've been doing the best we can to mitigate. They were using equipment that was just awful to break up that sidewalk, and I got about 100 emails.
You can't have a successful hotel if the neighbors don't embrace them.
Right.
That's it. They have to embrace it.
Well, I don't have a personal relationship with Ian. I'm not happy that, for whatever reason, he hasn't gotten the message.
We don't want to see this.
Good.
Well, there's an example of why you're here.
No, this can't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blocked off? No. No, that's sidewalk obstruction, completely illegal.
They have to do it. I mean, you know.
No. Yeah, but maybe...
But sometimes there's time frames. You don't have to do it, like, depending upon what the report was.
And now we're dealing with the scaffolding. You know, they want to put scaffolding 20 feet in front of your building.
Who, they do? So they can't, they block it out.
Mally and I were able to handle it because we knew everything that was going
Excuse me,
on.
where are you from?
I'm sorry, I'm working with Wendy and the Keeve.
Oh,
The documentary. This is where David jumped, right?
Hey!
What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact, like, not like that's a secret. Do you know where it was exactly?
Well, you can, you know, tell based on the landing.
It was like right over here, right?
I miss David. I love David. David was my friend. He was my uncle. He was my father's brother. He was my father's friend. My father must miss him terribly. And David's a really sad story. You know, by the time he was 13, he was already addicted to heroin.
The hotel really corrupted him. He would go to rehab. He would actually quit drugs. And he would come back to the hotel. And when he's in the hotel, you know, the rock stars coming through, people staying there who have access to drugs. It's very hard to live in that environment and not be tempted.
So do you remember that day we were like hanging out in your room? I think you were playing some music, and all of a sudden your dad walks in and he's saying, "They got David."
He said they took him away.
He had AK-47s, shotguns, 357s.
They were expensive.
He had like hollow tip bullets. I mean, seriously, I don't think he needed those guns.
No, he didn't need those guns.
But he was like off the edge.
My father was worried. Yeah, he was off the edge. My father was worried it was unsafe.
He was unsafe.
I will not put full blame on myself and my brother, but I mean, other people would have come around in his life, in David's life, but David really started using drugs again with me and Michael. David committed suicide. A little more than a year after, my brother had overdosed in his room. I think that was like his attempt to make things right, which it didn't, and also his escape, his fuck you to everyone.
So if David was here now, what would you say?
I forgive you. I love you. I miss you.
He's probably right over here. You work with him?
They're cutting the sound now.
Looks like a bomb fell. It's like a battle. It's like a war. You know, fighting for the quality. Generally, when you work with the contractor and you say you want a 90-degree angle, he thinks that means approximately 90 degrees. I want to get in the restaurant. The restaurant I want to get in.
I remember when we did the Palladium back in 1983 or 84, and I walked in one day and I saw like 15 coats of different colors of paint in blue on the wall, and I said, "What's that for?" He was trying to decide what color the coat room should be. You know, I'm sure he's like maybe a little bit past that now.
You have the green for here? I was worried about this color more than anything. And so I see it now, and I see it won't be nearly as beautiful when he's done as it is now. Much more beautiful. This will be the bars. Be careful. This will be the lobby. So you'll come right in, you'll look right at a big fireplace. To the elevator banks. Here is the front desk.
Don't you get overwhelmed?
Sorry?
Don't you get overwhelmed?
No, you know, to me it's a thrill. It's like having a baby. One arm will come out. You get a vibe that it's working. It's not a literal thing. You get a vibe that it's going to be good. You know, the flow of the space is critical. You know, it has to have a heart. It has to encourage people. It's difficult to picture, but I can see it now. I can see it.
Ian loves to talk. He'll just go on. And one of the things that I felt like I heard over and over and over again was that it was time for service. Design was not enough, blah, blah, blah. People have been saying that for a long time, especially after experiencing his hotels. Why would you want to stay at a hotel where you're not welcome? Everyone looks up at you and then looks away and like waits for you to like come bother them. Checking in was a drama, checking out is a drama. You know, no, 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 no.
I honestly want the hotel to be known for the service. The hotels I've had before, people tolerated a lot of things because they wanted to be in the coolest place in town. That just won't cut it anymore. If you don't enjoy making other people happy and taking care of them, you're in the wrong business. That's the kind of people you look to marry. And that's the kind of people you want to work in your hotel. And I mean, we're all going to be working and getting paychecks. Why not be involved with the best?
You can see that he's, definitely put his heart and soul into it.
Yeah,
That,
Like
this
told,
means a lot to him.
It's nice to be a part of it. Makes you feel like you're really coming up with something and you share,
It's like just listening to a legend in his own time, you just feel privileged.
Who knows about the 10-5 rule? 10-foot 5 rule. So at 10 feet, we're talking about acknowledging the guest, right? If someone is coming within 10 feet of you, you should probably smile and make eye contact, right?
I know a lot of you have goals in life that go beyond being a bell person for a living. And I've worked in environments like this where some people's biggest breaks have come because of the people who've come to this kind of space.
I'm an actor. Most of my shifts will probably be in the evening, giving most of my days off to audition.
Do you know how to tie a tie?
Not very well. I do, just not well at all. I always get like a square knot.
So how'd you get this job?
Through a casting with my modeling agency.
I heard about it from my modeling agency.
I just moved to the city actually a couple months ago.
Oh,
so,
okay. From where?
Rochester, New York.
Okay.
I upstate. Went to school at Powers.
Were you trained at the hotel school up there?
No. I was musical theater major.
Oh, musical
yes.
theater. Okay.
I'm an actor.
On the day I was born, the sky was bright and clear. I saw New York and told the stork, hey, you can drop me here. Everything I want is in Manhattan. Everything I want to see and do. Everything I want is in Manhattan, especially you, especially you.
What do you think if there were more specially used? I think it'll end more on an up note.
And do everything I want is in Manhattan, especially you, especially you, especially you.
That's very nice.
Especially you.
Yeah.
Generations, the Nolet family in Holland has been distilling 10 generations. Our family couldn't last 2. 10 generations they've been making this shit in Holland.
So can I ask a more serious question? Do you think Grandpa played a big role in the tragedies that happened in our family? You think it was part of his fault or no? At least with your brother. I mean, do you think that Grandpa had anything to do with that in some way?
Here he is, Michael. Stand with Grandpa for a minute, okay? Congratulations, Michael. And I hope you grow up
happy, and take care of everybody.
Be nice to point a finger, but I think Grandpa was so in his own world with the hotel. You've said it yourself, that he took more pleasure in interactions with his employees than he did with his own family members. You know, Max, to a certain extent, I want to own a hotel. I want to be a hotelier. To a certain extent, along with my musicianhood, along with like my fun. Why? Like, I mean, the whole concept, if you do it properly, it is, you know, the most, I can think of the most luxurious lifestyle in which you can pass down family wealth. What are you shaking your head for?
Because it's fucking bullshit, dude.
Why?
Because the fucking hotel is corrupting you to shit. I mean, who can not live in a hotel and be corrupted? You can't continue a family through a hotel.
It's telling me you find no meaning in
just living a comfortable
in
life.
the Weissberg life. There was no meaning.
I don't say there's no meaning, but I think the meaning that was there was not just people living comfortably.
You know what? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I want you to sit there. Or sit in my mother's chair. You sit in my mother's chair. I want you to sit next to me so I can talk to you. So I can talk to you. Yeah.
It's the end of Midtown and the beginning of downtown, and downtown is funnier for my kind of life today. So it's perfect. And I like the idea with the park. I like the idea to have a place in New York. Everything is there. My clothes are there. My papers are there. My books are there. I push a button and everything is perfect. I mean, I haven't found one thing yet I don't like about it, except the delay. That is not ready, but that's all.
We were here with Ian the other day. He's very excited about this project. He said it's the most challenging thing he's ever done.
Yes, but maybe challenging things like this take time, more time than they thought.
You gonna swing it, Kevin? Up on the load. It's all yours. Take it away.
When will it be over?
What do you think about it?
It's the worst job I've ever been on in my life.
Everybody's on top of everybody. Yeah.
Don't fucking think, understand? It was an accident. Because you're an asshole. You motherfucker.
Have there been complaints from the people in the neighborhood?
I haven't heard any, but they should be proud of something like that. It just makes the neighborhood that much more nicer, you know, more up class, more, you know, you're gonna bring in good, nice, upscale people.
Well, you've heard of men who live lives of quiet desperation. I've been living a life of noisy desperation.
I want you to see if you can help me out on that roof.
You stop fucking yelling at me.
Well, don't put your hand in your pocket all the goddamn time like you're a big hot shot. I know you when you were down fucking road.
They've been telling us the opening dates for the last 6 months. So I'll believe it when I see it.
So how are the Bears dealing with all the noise and the delay?
Well, they complain sometimes, but they're so busy playing and eating honey and their porridge that they're doing okay.